Hey, what's up guys? This is K-Watt and Kaboom. Been reviewing a couple of Watson's pistols today, so I'll turn it on over to him.
So today I wanted to go over P220s, mainly the P220 Combat, because there's some differences. I carry P220 on duty. The department we work for does not allow us to carry 1911s, and I found that this is the next best thing. So I own 3 P220s. I purchased them. Nobody gave them to me, so I bought originally. I've carried this one for the last 11 years of my career. Been in some critical incidents with this gun. It's worked well for me, and I really have no complaints. It is a little bit older style. This gun has a internal extractor instead of an external extractor. So anybody out there have a line on internal extractors so I can keep a surplus of them, hit me up. So moving on. This is a stainless Elite. It's pretty much a stained gun, except it runs a stainless frame, and it's a little heavier, but it does have the front serrations here, and gun works really well. It does. I do notice with the weight of the gun with the full stainless frame, it has less up travel on the recoil, if you will. So moving on. This Combat I've owned for a little over a year now. Mostly kind of a play around gun I use when Boom and I are shooting. The main thing, and I didn't know this when I purchased this gun, the frame on this gun is actually a little bit different than the other 2 P220s. The slide, the grip, trigger mechanism, they're all the same, but the frame where the tack light mounts, this is actually a true 1913 rail. The other P220s are have a similar rail, but they're not. They are cut down. They're not the same. So because this is a true 1913 rail, the tack light actually sits lower than on the other P220s. It's kind of hard to see if you hold them up side by side. You can barely see that this tack light, the bottom of it is even with the trigger guard, and this one sits just below it. So that comes to other problems that have been created. This is a holster, a Kydex holster. I found this online. I was working in a detective spot for a while, and I needed a kind of a flat holster, and I wanted one that incorporated tack light. This Combat will not fit in this holster because of the height from the top of the slide to the bottom of the tack light. So creates other issues as far as duty holsters. This is leg holster I have set up. This is a Safariland 6004-776 SIG holster. The gun does fit in here, but it fits a little bit tight. I can an Allen wrench here. I can loosen this holster up a little bit, and it helps the situation. I've sprayed silicone spray in here, and it did help. So I can run this standard P220 holster with the Combat. It just you gotta loosen it up. So that's basically set up. The Combat does come with a 110 round magazine. The extra 2 rounds, you can tell this is a standard 8 round magazine to 10 round. Older P220s from early 90s actually came with 7 round magazines. the extra 2 rounds isn't really noticeable, and you get another 2 rounds, so it works out quite well. All my guns are set up with the standard SIG night sights and the cutback triggers in them, so I'm able to get my finger wrapped around the trigger a little bit better. You can see that all my guns are set up with TLR1 tack lights. These are tack lights that are not these tack lights, but the TLR1 is an issue tack light on our department, so I've stuck with that. I have nothing against Surefire and the X300 or X400 light. I know they work very well, but the TLR1s from Streamlight have worked very, very well for me. And with my original P220 that I carry on duty, this TLR1 has actually been through a couple critical incidents while I mounted to this gun, and the circuit board in it broke. Streamlight, I shipped it to Streamlight and they fixed it at no cost and shipped it right back. They did not replace the light, which I was very thankful for, just for personal reasons. It's pretty much all you can think of right now as far as differences. The gun is extremely smooth. Like I said, if I was allowed to carry 1911 on my department, I would, but this is what I found to be the next best thing. I have resprung the guns. I'm running, I believe I run in 17-pound trigger springs in the rear, under the grip, and it creates a really smooth feel on the trigger, especially on that long double action pull where the hammer has to come back and then forward. I get a smooth pull on it. So,
Why did you choose to go from? Were you originally issued a Glock 21 or 17 when you first got hired?
when I first got hired, I was issued a Glock 21.
Why did you decide to go from a Glock 21 to a SIG 220? I know a lot of people will say, "Oh, Watson, you're losing rounds. Your round count's not as high. It's a single stack 45. You're down from 13 rounds to 8 rounds." Why did you choose to go that route?
Well, to be honest, I don't have that big of hands. The Glock 21, I tried to put like the Hogue sleeve over it to try to fit my hand a little better, and it just never quite fit me right. I grew up, my dad carried a early 90s P220. I actually wish I had it. It is the American version with the side, the thumb release slide, or sorry, the thumb button slide release. Some of the early Austrian versions actually have a button down on the handle to release the slide. So I grew up shooting this gun. When my dad would take my brother and I out shooting, this is a gun I would shoot. Well, his P220. I knew I could shoot the gun well. I knew it was comfortable in my hands, and that's why I went with it. As you can kind of tell that all my guns are fitted with Hogue. The rubberized grips are just a grip that fits my hand really well, comfortable. They have a texture on them that fits in my palm. I can't, on duty every day with the seatbelt rubbing up against it and things like that, they do wear out, but they're a $25 grip, and I can replace them, without a problem. I actually have 2 brand new sets in a box sitting in my safe. So it was just a personal preference for me. I know there's a lot of people that are fan of the Glocks, and you can do different things with Glocks to make them work well. Like I said, I've changed the springs out in the SIGs. A lot of people don't like the double action, that first trigger pull, the double action. It doesn't bother me, as I know once that slide goes back that first time and I go to a single action trigger, I can be on point with it, and it works well.
All right.
So that's pretty much it. Hit us up if you have any questions. I'll feel free to give the knowledge I have.
support your local law enforcement. This is our first video. Don't be too hard on us. There'll be more to come. We'll get better as time goes on. We won't stutter as much and that. So stay tuned, guys. A lot more coming. Thanks.